This poor girl witnesses the death of a student. To cover up the incident, she is offered a scholarship to an elite school where the school fees cost 100 million won. Despite her strong personality, she gets bullied when she humiliates a rich CEO daughter by snatching her shoes and head-butting her till her nose bleed. Kim Hye-in is an ordinary girl who often feels jealous of kids with wealthy parents since her own life is very different. At Cheongdam International High, the most elite school in the country, only the rich can attend. At this school, students are ranked based on how wealthy and powerful their parents are. Most of the students come from South Korea's top families and spend money however they please. The school does offer scholarships to students from poorer backgrounds as part of a welfare program. Still, those who enter through this route are usually bullied by the others. The wealthiest student at the school is Baek Jenna, the daughter of Chairman Baek. When the school's violence committee questions Jenna about bullying the scholarship students, she just laughs it off. At that moment, other students rush in, trying to take the blame for her. Jenna even mocks the situation by jokingly offering to buy the committee member a new laptop from her father's company. She proudly calls herself a royal of the school. Kim Hye-in is a student at Sunwoo Girls' School, a regular school in a quiet neighborhood. Her family is poor, so she works part-time jobs to help support them. Despite her struggles, she's a bright student. One day, she goes for an interview to become a tutor at the house of a rich girl named Na-yeon. As soon as Hye-in enters Na-yeon's house, she is stunned by how luxurious it is. During the interview, Na-yeon's mother shows off her wealth and looks down on Hye-in, making her feel small. She also learns that Na-yeon's parents have already secured her admission into Cheongdam International High through connections. However, as she still worries about her grades, she wishes to hire a tutor. Hye-in, however, is tutoring under her friend's name, Sun Ju, a student from Hankook University. After the uncomfortable interview, Hye-in rushes to her part-time job at a convenience store. She thanks Sun Ju for lending her ID card and treats her to a bag of snacks. Back at school, Hye-in is studying and her nose suddenly bleeds. Later she is called to the teacher's office where he tells her that her scholarship for the English immersion program in New Zealand will be given to another student in even greater need. If she still wants to go, she must pay 3.5 million won. Hye-in feels crushed, as she had been really looking forward to the trip. The next day, she returns to Na-yeon's house for tutoring. But instead of studying, Na-yeon spends time unboxing her expensive luxury bags to post on social media. When Hye-in hears that each bag costs between 3 to 5 million won, she is shocked and tells Na-yeon that spending so much on bags is a waste. Na-yeon decides to mock her. She offers one of the bags to Hye-in, pretending to be generous. Hye-in is stunned and tempted to accept it, thinking she could sell it to pay for her school trip. But then, Na-yeon laughs at her and calls her a freeloader, humiliating her. The next day, when Hye-in arrives at Na-yeon's house, the housekeeper informs her that Na-yeon will be late. While waiting in Na-yeon's room, Hye-in notices the designer bags. Curious, she takes a photo of herself wearing one and uploads it to Instagram. Just then, Na-yeon returns. Hye-in quickly puts the bag back. Hye-in's classmates find out she applied for a scholarship to study in New Zealand. They mock her, accusing her of pretending to be rich. Soon, the photo she posted gains attention because the bag she wore is a limited edition worth 5 million won. When her classmates realize that the girl is Hye-in, they ask her if she is rich and she lies to them saying yes. From then on, Hye-in begins visiting Na-yeon's house earlier, secretly taking pictures in Na-yeon's clothes and accessories to post on Instagram. She's surprised to learn that influencers can earn 3 to 4 million won per month, and is determined to do so. A flashback shows Jenna and her group harassing scholarship students, accusing them of reporting her as the school bully. Kim Hye-in, one of the poor students, is among those bullied. Eventually, a student takes the blame and drops out of school. Hye-in urges him to stay, insisting he's innocent, but he tells her this school is not for the poor. He then calls the school committee to follow up on the evidence she submitted against Jenna, but they brush it off as a minor issue. During English class, Jenna gets scolded by the teacher for sleeping. Annoyed, Jenna mocks the teacher's pronunciation and warns her not to mess with her, asserting her power at school. Meanwhile, Hye-in continues going early to Na-yeon's house, telling Na-yeon's mother it's to prepare for her exams, but in reality, she uses the time to take pictures in different outfits for her Instagram. She sneaks into Na-yeon's mother's closet and finds a new school uniform for Cheongdam International High School. She asks the housekeeper why the uniform was bought even before Na-yeon passed the entrance exams. The housekeeper explains that Na-yeon already secured a spot at the school, and due to the long wait for uniforms, it had to be ordered in advance. Ha-in then tries on the uniform in Na-yeon's room and snaps a few photos. Suddenly, Na-yeon comes home and realizes the uniform is missing. Ha-in, unable to take it off in time, hides under the bed. Na-yeon hears Ha-in's phone notification and discovers the truth through her Instagram. She confronts Ha-in about impersonating her. Ashamed, Ha-in apologizes and says she'll quit tutoring, but begs Na-yeon not to tell her mother. Na-yeon agrees to keep the secret, on one condition: Ha-in must do whatever she says. She begins bullying Ha-in, forcing her to do her homework, be her personal assistant, and even asks her to do her friends' homeworks. When Ha-in protests, saying she needs to study for her finals, Na-yeon threatens to reveal everything to her mother. She promises that after her interview the next day, Ha-in will be free. The next day, just before Ha-in's final exams, Na-yeon calls her in tears, claiming she left her essay at home and needs it urgently for her interview. She threatens to harm herself if Ha-in doesn't help. Ha-in skips her exam and rushes to get the essay. When she arrives at Cheongdam High, she overhears Na-yeon laughing with her friends, mocking Ha-in and admitting she never needed the essay. She tosses it into the trash. Heartbroken, Ha-in hides in the restroom and breaks down in tears, realizing she missed her exams for nothing. In the restroom, Ha-in runs into a poor girl named Ha-in, who hands her a hair tie. As Ha-in walks away, Ha-in notices a sticky note on her back calling her a leech. Unable to hold back her anger, Ha-in storms out, grabs a bucket of water, and heads to the volunteer booth. She sees the student volunteer, So-mang, and urgently asks where the interviews are being held. Without waiting, she marches into the auditorium and dumps the entire bucket of water on Na-yeon in front of everyone. Soon after, Na-yeon's mother arrives at the school and lashes out, physically attacking Ha-in. The school president intervenes and warns that this incident will negatively impact her admission to Cheongdam International High School. Furious, Na-yeon's mother vows to make Ha-in pay. Later, a teacher scolds Ha-in for using a fake ID to get her tutoring job. On top of that, Na-yeon exposes Ha-in's secret Instagram account. The students turn on her, gossiping and bullying her for pretending to be rich. Meanwhile, Jenna's friends come across Ha-in's Instagram post of her wearing the Cheongdam uniform. They show it to Jenna, who becomes furious, claiming Ha-in has damaged the school's reputation. Feeling overwhelmed, she visits Hee-so, the chairman of Cheongdam International. She apologizes and asks him to accept Na-yeon into the school. But Hee-so refuses, saying there's no reason for him to get involved since he gains nothing from it. Before leaving, Ha-in goes to the restroom, crying and ranting to herself. There, she runs into So-mang, who's secretly smoking. She accuses him of being a creep, but he calmly explains that the restroom has been out of use since a student gave birth there, and he hides there to smoke in peace. They start talking, and she shares her story. So-mang advises her to wait for Hee-so as his red Porsche is still in the parking lot. Ha-in waits outside until 2:30 a.m. not realizing his chauffeur had already picked him up earlier. On her way home, she hears a loud crash. To her horror, she sees a student lying on the ground, covered in blood. Looking up, she realizes someone pushed Ha-in off the rooftop. Ha-in is rushed to the hospital and falls into a coma. Shaken and traumatized, Ha-in cries uncontrollably as the police question her about what she saw. Hee-seo receives a call about the incident and finds out there's a witness. When Ha-in finally arrives home, she's shocked to find Na-yeon's mother waiting for her outside. She pleads with Ha-in to help Na-yeon get into Cheongdam High. In exchange, she promises to drop the lawsuit and even hands Ha-in a gift. Ha-in receives multiple missed calls from Hee-so and he later offers her a scholarship, but only if she stays silent about Ha-in's fall. Later on, So-mang gives a new student a tour of the school. He explains that understanding the social hierarchy is key to surviving at Cheongdam High. Students are ranked by their parents' wealth. Jenna is the queen of the school because her father made the biggest donation. Do-en stands quietly at the scene of the accident, determined to uncover what really happened. His suspicions grow when he finds out that a new scholarship student was admitted right after Ha-in's fall. Later, at home, Do-en sneaks into his father's study and notices Ha-in's personal file lying on the desk. Just as his father walks in, Do-en quickly snaps a photo of the file and comes up with a quick excuse to avoid getting caught. Back at school, Ha-in's classmates are stunned to hear she's transferring to the elite Cheongdam International High. That night, Hyun tells her friend Sunju about the scholarship, convinced it's her chance to turn her life around. However, she keeps the real reason behind the offer a secret. Instead, she treats Sunju to a nice meal to change the topic. The next morning, a custom-made Cheongdam uniform is delivered directly to Hyun's home. Excited, she puts it on and heads out shopping. While browsing, she spots the same luxury shoes she once saw at Nayeon's house. She uses her saved-up money to buy them. But just as she's walking away, a girl in a cap bumps into her and slips a note into her shopping bag. In the restroom, while cleaning her new shoes, Hyun finds the note. It accuses her of keeping quiet about Hyun's accident just to earn a spot at Cheongdam High. Shocked and shaken, she leaves the shoes behind and rushes out to find the mysterious girl, but she's already gone. Meanwhile, Jenna is also shopping at the same mall and buys the exact same luxury shoes. At the store, she bumps into her father's mistress, who also happens to be her teacher at Cheongdam High. Jenna coldly mocks her, calling her a gold digger, then storms off to the restroom. By the time Hyun returns to the restroom, her shoes are missing. Moments later, Jenna walks in, wearing the exact same pair. Hyun accuses her of stealing them. Offended, Jenna snaps back, and the two start fighting. Hyun snatches the shoes off her feet and storms off. She tries to go to the store and ask for a new box but is rejected. She's frustrated. It's the first luxury item she's ever bought. Meanwhile, Jenna is furious that she had to go home barefoot and vows to get revenge. The next day, Hyun arrives at Cheongdam High wearing her new shoes. She looks around at the wealthy students. She starts to worry about whether she belongs there. Yeol-hee and Woo-jin are in the Diamond Club room. Woo-jin gives her an expensive necklace, and they start making out, until Jenna barges in, her face covered with band-aids. She's clearly upset and says she needs to find Hyun right away. Later, Jenna's gang spreads out across the school, searching for her. While So-mang is showing Hyun around, Do-en suddenly pulls her aside. Neither boy wants to let go of her, but in the end, Do-en walks off with her. He brings her to the school garden and asks for her phone number, telling her to contact him if she ever needs help. As Hyun walks toward her locker, when she opens it, she's shocked to find the luxury shoes inside, along with a note that reads, "Welcome to hell." She finally realizes the terrible truth. The shoes she fought Jenna for weren't hers after all. Later, the students at school start bullying Hyun for getting involved with Jenna. Hyun soon realizes that scholarship students are often targeted. She runs into Hiseo's office and demands that he take responsibility for bringing her into a school where she's now being bullied. Hiseo tells her this is a rare chance she could never afford otherwise and gives her two choices, either leave or stay, but he won't get involved further. With no real option, Hyun decides to endure the bullying. When she tries to sneak out of the school building, Jenna spots her. They get into another fight, and soon the rest of the students surround them. Hyun then realizes Jenna is not just popular but also feared as the school's top bully. In a moment of defiance, she headbutts Jenna, causing her nose to bleed, and runs off. The group chases after her, but a girl named OCN pulls Hyun into an art room and helps her hide. Noticing that Hyun has no shoes, she offers her an old pair. Hyun thanks her and learns that Jenna had posted her photo on the school forum, making her a target. CN also tells her about the Diamond Club, a group of elite students that Jenna belongs to. Everyone else is considered beneath them. Remembering Do-en's promise, Hyun sends him a message asking for help. Before he can reach her, the students catch up and corner her. She threatens to record them and share the video online, but they just laugh, saying their money will protect them from any consequences. As they move in, Hyun jumps from the second floor in desperation. Luckily, Do-en arrives just in time and catches her, saving her from a serious injury. On her way home, Yeol-hee calls and angrily tells her that Do-en saved her. He accuses Hyun of being a leech, reminding her of how her father was once manipulated by his mistress, just like Do-en is now being trapped by Hyun. Later, Jenna goes to dinner with her father, only to find his mistress there instead of her mom. She argues with him, but the woman announces she's 12 weeks pregnant and will be marrying her dad. Upset, Jenna storms out. Meanwhile, on the rooftop, Do-en tends to Hyun's injuries and even offers to buy her a new school uniform. Hyun wonders why he's being so kind and briefly thinks he might like her. When he asks about Hyun's accident, she realizes that his kindness is only because he wants information. She tries to leave, but he stops her, saying he can protect her from the bullying if she tells him the truth. The next day, Hyun steps out of Do-eon's car and grabs his hand, pretending they're dating. The students are left shocked by the scene. The girls at school ask Hyein about her relationship with Duan, wondering why someone like him would date a girl with her looks and figure. Frustrated, Hyein slams her locker shut and tells them to back off. Meanwhile, Yeol-hee and Woo-jin question Duan about it too, but he simply tells them to stay away from Hyein. Later, So-mang meets Hyein in the abandoned women's restroom and brings up her sudden connection to Duan. He finds it amusing how much drama she's already involved in, despite only being at Cheongdam High for 2 days. In class, the girls suddenly act friendly toward Hyein. They even invite her to a sorority party, telling her that people like her usually don't get in without a special invitation. When she asks Sunju for advice, Sunju encourages her to go. Hyein borrows a designer dress from Na-yeon, promising to share details about the exclusive event in return. Na-yeon warns her to be careful with the dress, saying it's extremely expensive. At the party, Hyein arrives in the luxury dress but tells Sunju she feels out of place. Still, she decides to stay in hopes of getting closer to the elite students. When she walks in, the girls offer her a glass of wine and deliberately bump into her, though she manages to avoid spilling it. Yeol-hee offers to help steady her, but the moment Jenna enters, Yeol-hee lets go, causing the wine to stain Hyen's dress. Things escalate when Jenna grabs a whole bottle and pours it all over her, completely ruining the dress. Shocked, Hyein tries to fight back, but the hotel staff drags her out. The next morning, Hyein asks her dad for a loan, shocking her family when she requests 8 million won. Her brother scolds her for being selfish, reminding her how hard their father works. Embarrassed and overwhelmed, Hyein retreats to her room. Na-yeon later demands she repay the full amount within a month, leaving Hyein stressed and desperate. Meanwhile, Na-yeon meets with Jenna and says it's an honor to work with her, revealing that the entire situation had been planned by Jenna. At the same time, Duan confronts Jenna and accuses her of bullying Hyein. She mocks him for lowering his standards and associating with poor people. When he defends Hyein, she warns him that girls like Hyein will only take advantage of him, claiming he doesn't know Hyen's true nature. That night, So-mang watches a video of the party where Hyein was bullied and finds the situation amusing. But when he sees her talking to an older man, he thinks she's in danger and grabs the man, only for Hyein to explain that he's just buying a second-hand item from her. Annoyed, Hyein tells So-mang he misjudged her because she's poor, assuming she has to do shady things to make money. She complains that she even had to give the man a 50,000 won discount, and that every bit counts. Feeling guilty, So-mang offers her a ride home. At school, Hyein bumps into Jenna. Jenna tells her that by now, she should know this school isn't the right place for her. But Hyein mocks her, calling her pathetic for getting so upset over someone like her, and tells her to just pretend she doesn't exist. Jenna refuses and tells Hyein to drop out. She even offers to pay for the dress if Hyein agrees to leave school within a week. Later, Duan drives Hyein home. He scolds her for attending the party instead of laying low and demands to know who killed Hyein. Hyein, instead of answering, asks him for money. He gets angry, mocking her for thinking about money in this situation. She gets out of the car and says she couldn't see the killer's face and only saw that it was a woman's silhouette. She then blames Duan for failing to protect the girl he loved. Cn brings Hyein to the art room and prepares lunch for her. Hyein tells her that she's the kindest person in the school. Cn suggests a way for Hyein to get the money for the dress without quitting school. She introduces her to Duck Min, another Diamond Club member, and says he's rich even if he doesn't look it. Hyein meets Duck Min, and he agrees to lend her money, but with very high interest. Then he offers another option. If she dresses up in cosplay outfits and lets him take photos, he'll pay her instead. He gives her a cat costume and a Sailor Moon outfit. As she's about to leave, he tells her to put on the last costume in front of him, offering an extra 5 million won. Desperate, Hyein agrees and begins stripping. Meanwhile, Duan visits Hyein at the hospital and remembers their last talk on the rooftop. They had fought because she wouldn't tell him what happened to her, and he had lost his temper. Now, he regrets his actions. He returns home and checks the CCTV footage, only to find the files gone, suggesting his father know who the culprit is. At the same time, Woo-jin is having dinner with Yeol-hee. He says he wants to be intimate with her, but she refuses, saying she'll only do so after marriage and tells him to be patient. She even threatens to kill herself if he sleeps with anyone else. Woo-jin later receives a call that upsets him. That night, Hyein wakes up from a nightmare about Hyen's fall. She notices the necklace on her desk, the same one Hyein had handed her before she lost consciousness. The next day, Jenna sees her father's mistress enter Cheongdam High. Another teacher mentions rumors that the woman might marry into a wealthy family, but the woman says she'll make an announcement when the time comes. When she spots Jenna, she pretends to care, but Jenna warns her not to overstep and mocks her for being a mistress. The woman then reveals she's pregnant with a boy who will be the heir to Jenna's father's company, and tells Jenna to start calling her Mom. Jenna suffers a panic attack, but Hye-in shows up just in time and takes her away. Hye-in tells Jenna that she actually feels sorry for her, but Jenna snaps back, saying she hates it when people try to comfort her just to look down on her. In response, Hye-in hands her 8 million won and says her own life is worse than Jenna's, and that she has no reason to look down on her. After a heated exchange, the two agree to stay out of each other's way and coexist. The next day, the bullying finally stops, but Do-en pulls her up to the rooftop again, still pushing her for answers about Hye-in. When Hye-in tells him to leave her alone, he threatens her, saying if his father finds out she doesn't know who the culprit is, she won't be able to stay in school. Hye-in walks away. Later, Hye-in is horrified to receive a message from an unknown number. Attached is a video of her stripping in front of the camera. Meanwhile, Yeol-hee and Jenna see Si-eun talking to Hye-in and wonder why they seem close. In class, Si-eun writes something in Hye-in's notebook. When Hye-in reads it, she recognizes the handwriting. It matches the threatening note she received at the mall. That's when she realizes that Si-eun has been the one threatening her all along. A flashback to a year ago shows Si-eun's name being removed from the Diamond Club after her family went bankrupt. The other students mocked her, and she lashed out by beating one of them. Jenna stepped in and slapped her in front of everyone. Si-eun shouted at Jenna, accusing her of taking all her gifts and then turning on her. Jenna coldly replied that only people on the same level can be friends, and told her to stay away. Si-eun laughed hysterically when news broke about Jenna's father's affair. Back in the present, Si-eun runs into Jenna and pretends to be scared of her. Jenna confronts her, asking why she's suddenly getting close to Hye-in when she usually ignores people she sees as beneath her. Si-eun plays dumb, but Jenna threatens to expose her wrongdoings. Si-eun simply replies that Jenna has no proof that she had anything to do with her brother's death. Then she cruelly mocks Jenna, asking if they're finally on the same level now that her father's mistress is pregnant, hinting that Jenna might be kicked out soon. Do-en observes from a distance, growing suspicious that Jenna may be involved in Hye-in's fall. Meanwhile, Hye-in searches the art room for any clues about the leaked video. Si-eun walks in, and Hye-in confronts her directly. Si-eun confesses to everything and tells Hye-in that if she doesn't want the video released, she must blame Jenna for what happened to Hye-in. She gives her 1 week to do it. But Hye-in thinks Jenna is not the culprit. Later, Do-en enters the Diamond Club room and sees the trio there. Yeol-hee invites him to her party, and he says he'll bring Hye-in with him. Jenna gets upset, and Do-en asks her directly, why does she hate both Hye-in and Hye-in so much? On her way home, Jenna sees Hye-in crying on the street. She asks what happened, and Hye-in tells her that both she and Hye-in were unlucky to end up at this school. But Jenna says Hye-in shouldn't feel sorry for Hye-in. She also tells her that crying doesn't suit her and warns her to watch out for Si-eun. Hye-in then calls Do-en and says she'll help him if he helps her find the video evidence. They go to the Diamond Club room and search through Duck Min's collection of videos. By accident, she takes the device that had Hye-in's name on it. Meanwhile, So-mang beats up Duck Min and forces him to delete the videos from his computer. Later, Jenna visits her mother at the hospital. While leaving, she overhears the chauffeur mention an upcoming shareholders meeting, saying her father is expecting a son. Worried, Jenna decides to visit her father. When his mistress arrives, she's surprised to see Jenna. Jenna tells her she's there to learn what her father does, hinting that she plans to take over the company one day. At home, Hye-in plugs the device into her laptop and is shocked to see a video of Hye-in. In the video, Hye-in is hooking up with Woo-jin. Hye-in starts questioning what kind of person Hye-in really was. The next day, Hye-in receives a message from Si-eun saying there are only 3 days left. Do-en then asks her to be his +1 for Woo-jin and Yeol-hee's party. Si-eun pulls Hye-in into the restroom and tells her to stop wasting time. She says she has a copy of Hye-in's video on her phone. When Hye-in asks about the device with Hye-in's name, Si-eun says Hye-in was blackmailing Jenna with it, and that Jenna was the one who pushed her off the rooftop. A flashback shows Hye-in in the restroom, scared after receiving a message from Si-eun with the video of her and Woo-jin. Si-eun tells Hye-in to blackmail Jenna using her father's affair, promising to delete the video in return. Si-eun tells Hye-in that time is running out. So-mang, who was hiding in a cubicle, overhears everything. Later talks to Hye-in, apologizing for not successfully deleting her videos. He suggests going to the police, but Hye-in says the police can be easily bribed. He then tells her he'll help her punish Si-eun if that's what she wants. At the party, Hye-in arrives with Do-en. While they talk, she asks him about Hye-in. He says she was a good person. During this, Hye-in decides not to reveal the video she saw. When Hye-in sees Yeol-hee's necklace, she asks Jenna about it. Jenna tells her it's a limited edition piece with a long waitlist. Later, Do-en and Jenna get into an argument. Jenna accuses him of abandoning their 18-year friendship for Hye-in. Do-en suspects Jenna of pushing Hye-in off the building. Jenna then reveals that Hye-in wasn't innocent. She was blackmailing both her and Woo-jin. Jenna also tells Yeol-hee that Hye-in slept with Woo-jin, which causes Yeol-hee to break down in tears. A flashback shows Hye-in blackmailing Woo-jin with their video and demanding money. That same night, she also threatens Jenna with the knowledge of her father's affair, asking for money. Jenna warns her to stop involving Do-en. Hye-in responds by saying she hates Jenna and the only thing Jenna has going for her is being rich. Later, Yeol-hee confronts Jenna, blaming her for ruining everything by exposing the truth at the party. Jenna says she hated how Woo-jin treated Yeol-hee like a fool, but Yeol-hee reveals she already knew. She says she was using her leverage over Woo-jin to keep him under control, and that Jenna ruined her plan. Hye-in asks Jenna to go to her house as she wants to show her the necklace. She tells Jenna that she knows Jenna isn't the real culprit, but Yeol-hee is. He tells Jenna to decide how she wants to handle it. A flashback shows Yeol-hee overhearing Woo-jin's call with Hye-in. That night, she confronts Hye-in on the rooftop, accusing her of stealing her boyfriend. They argue, and in the struggle, Yeol-hee accidentally pushes Hye-in off the roof. The next day, Hye-in goes to school and receives a final warning from Si-eun. She has until midnight before the video is released. Afterwards, Yeol-hee and Woo-jin make up. A girl wearing identical luxury shoes enters Hee-seo's office. Hye-in rushes to school to find Si-eun and reveal the truth about what happened to Hye-in. But when she gets there, she finds Si-eun lying in a pool of blood, having fallen from the same spot as Hye-in. Hye-in stares at her and mutters that Chongdam Hye must truly be cursed.